Question 1. What are your responsibilities as the CAC Executive Officer?
Okay, so my responsibilities as a Combined Arms Center Executive Officer is to, in simple terms, just oversee the daily operations for SMA and LCS. This can include doing simple logistics such as roles, discharges, approving their proposals, as well as being directly engaged in day-to-day operations. This typically includes when I'm working on projects such as like OCS curriculum, new curriculum changes, or just any major changes to brigade or division as a whole. But for most part, it's more of just an overseeing role.
During your time as the SMA Brigade Commanding Officer, what challenges did you face during its early days?
Honestly, I never faced any challenges because this is easy to me. I'm the most capable individual in this whole group, so it was pretty easy. The biggest challenge just is doing the curriculum. I think my biggest concern was not tailoring it to like the community, because I know one of the issues people always have with going through OCS is they said that the information is useless, or it can't be applied to what they do. On top of the fact that the exam is very long, so that was like my biggest concern, was to find a way to create a curriculum where it's relevant to what they do on their day-to-day basis, as well as kind of just keeping that roleplay aspect in SMA, and I just doing a simple and straightforward exam, so they can just, as long as they answer the question correctly, it's easy. It's an easy pass. That was the biggest struggle. But and apart from that, honestly, it was just trying to get everything ready in time before the school started, because once school starts, always hit that decline. So just trying to get it set up and running, which thanks to the staff, we were able to successfully do, and it's still going.
In your opinion, what makes the Combined Arms Center unique compared to other divisions in USAR?
The fact that it oversees two of the most important units in USAR, SMA and LCS, and not in terms of importance me saying like, oh, they're the best, but in terms of the fact that everybody has to go through them at one point in their lyrical army career, whether it's through SMA or LCS or even both. So like I think being able to maintain that quality and making sure that people going through there are actually learning something that they can use on their daily Lego army life.
One misconception people have about CAC or its purpose.
It's not really much of a misconception, more as like awareness. CAC isn't really advertised as a division the same way that others are, and for the most time, people don't know what it is or what it falls under. So it's oftentimes people just ask me what it is or what it does, rather than kind of assuming. So it's just that awareness, or just not being informed about it.
What are your proudest achievements during your time as the SMA Brigade Commanding Officer?
I think one of my proudest achievements was, I guess, just getting the brigade fully up and running. And that time frame, while also kind of creating this new curriculum, having a different approach, and the content that's being taught. And then the effort did pay off, because I'm not trying to self-glaze here, but because I got a medal and Chair Officer of the Month, well, Staff Officer of the Month. So I guess that meant something. But I think just being able to work together with the rest of the team and just being able to execute it under the immense pressure, I think that's like my proudest achievement.
If you had to compare the leadership styles of officers and senior NCOs, what do you think is the wait, I'll read you that question. I see I messed it up.
Okay, you're fired.
If you had to compare the leadership styles of officers and senior non-commissioned officers, what do you think is the biggest difference?
Well, even though I think like a good portion of the leadership kind of bleeds in the leadership style, I think the biggest difference is the fact that the senior staff NCOs, they're the first line of chain of command, so they're more directly engaged with the personnel, and then they'll be the first line that any personnel comes to anytime they have issues or concerns. Whereas the officers play more kind of like an administrative role, and they pick on like behind the scenes, trying to plan stuff for the units, like proposals, projects they want out. I mean, obviously they engage with the personnel, but I think it's not their primary responsibility in comparison to your NCOs. I think like the NCOs play more of a mentor type role, whereas officers more kind of like leading and giving orders in his commands, and it's doing what's best for their unit.
If you had to give advice to the new members joining USAR for the first time, what would it be?
My biggest advice would be, know your worth and value. I think there'll be a lot of times where people undervalue you or don't give you like any recognition you deserve, no matter how much effort you put in. And I think that can be difficult at times, to deal with. So I'd say don't let that take away from your motivation or your enjoyment. Just stay where you're valued, appreciated and respected. That's where you'll build, friendships and memories. And at the end of the day, it's a game. So I'd say just have fun, learn, just make the most of it.
What first inspired you to join USAR, and did you ever imagine you'd end up where you are now?
Honestly, I can't really say why I joined back. When I joined USAR, this was back in 2016, back in my day. So it's been a while since, so I think I was new to Roblox, and then I saw the Army ads, and I always found it cool, anything military related by watching movies or video games. So that's what, I guess inspired me to join. Did I ever imagine being where I end up now? Yes and no. I mean, I've been in high positions before, but it's been a long time. So I guess, and these recent years, anytime I got colonel, that was the highest I go, and then something happened. I got fired, or I had to resign, or it was just a bunch of stuff. So I guess I was surprised to actually, beat the cannon event and made it past those things.
If you weren't serving as the CAC right now, If you weren't serving as the CAC right now, what command/division in USAR would you most want to try?
Well, what I mean in a sense of trying, I guess I'd just be an EPD, because I was a EPD before I was offered the position of brigade commanding officer for SMA. So I probably would have stayed there, because I had a great experience there. A lot of people tend to hate on it without ever giving it a real chance, and I think that's why it's very underrated. But I wanted to see it for myself. I tried it, and I really enjoyed that time there. So I'll probably still be over there, rising up the ranks to EPD.
Number 10. What legacy do you want to leave behind at CAC?
So the legacy I want to leave behind, it's a legacy of constant innovation, creativity, and just curiosity. I think too often people limit themselves because something hasn't been done before, or because something isn't the usual way of doing things. And I think people need to break out of that habit and start thinking outside the box, and just not be afraid to ask questions or question things when they don't make sense. It's important to understand why we do things instead of just doing it because we were told to. That mindset builds a better sense of leadership and you just create stronger communication and that constant improvement across the board. Because you're always trying to see what can be improved, how can you make things better. Why is something done this way? How can it be done different? That constant thinking, it's always allows room for growth. Whereas if you just continue to do the stuff that your predecessors already done, there's like nothing new. You just get comfortable and you don't really fix issues that have been there for like years. So I think just that constant creativity and just questioning things. That's the type of culture I want to leave behind.